Why high achievers feel empty. Hello and welcome. My name is Uzma and I'm from Holistic Heart Counselling. Today I want to talk about something that many successful people experience but rarely discuss openly. From the outside, everything looks fine. You may have a good job, a successful business, professional qualifications, financial stability. People may even admire you. They may say, "You are doing so well. You have achieved so much. You should be proud of yourself." And yet, when you sit quietly by yourself, you feel something is missing. You keep moving, you keep working, you keep achieving, but somehow the feeling of satisfaction never stays for very long. You reach one goal, then immediately focus on the next one. You achieve something important, yet instead of feeling fulfilled, you feel strangely empty. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Because sometimes the problem is not a lack of success. Sometimes the problem is that we have spent so much time building a successful life that we forgot to build a meaningful one. As Jim Carrey once said, "I wish everyone could become rich and famous so they could see that it's not the answer." Let's talk about why this happens. The achievement trap. Many high achievers believe that happiness exists somewhere in the future. They tell themselves, "I will be happy when I get promoted. I will be happy when I earn more money. I will be happy when I finish this project. I will be happy when my business succeeds." And for a while, that goal creates motivation, it creates excitement, it creates hope. But then something interesting happens. The goal is achieved, the promotion arrives, the business grows, the degree is completed, the house is purchased, the dream becomes reality, and for a brief moment there is satisfaction. But then the feeling fades and a new goal takes its place. Many successful people spend years chasing achievement after achievement without ever stopping to ask, what am I actually looking for? Because often they are not looking for success, they are looking for something much deeper: connection, peace, belonging, self worth, purpose, and no amount of achievement can permanently fill needs that are emotional in nature. As Albert Einstein once said, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. When your worth depends on performance. One reason many high achievers feel empty is because they learned very early in life that their value depended on what they did. Perhaps they were praised for achievement, praised for good grades, praised for being responsible, praised for taking care of others, praised for never causing problems. Slowly, they begin to believe, "I am valuable when I perform. I am valuable when I achieve. I am valuable when I succeed." But what happens? when achievement becomes the only source of self-worth, life becomes exhausting because you constantly feel the need to prove yourself. You feel pressure to keep succeeding, pressure to keep producing, pressure to keep moving forward, even when you are tired, even when you are struggling, even when you desperately need rest. Many high achievers are not running towards success. They are running away from the fear of not feeling good enough. And there is a huge difference between those two things. As Brené Brown says, you are worthy of love and belonging exactly as you are, not because of what you achieve, not because of what you earn, not because of your job title, simply because you are a human. Success became a survival strategy. Many people assume that high achievers are simply ambitious, and sometimes they are, but sometimes something much deeper is happening. Sometimes achievement is not just about success. Sometimes achievement is about survival. Think about the child who grew up feeling unseen, the child who felt they had to earn love, the child who learned that mistakes led to criticism, the child who felt they had to prove themselves to be accepted. That child often grows into an adult who works harder than everyone else, not because they love working, but because deep down, they are still trying to earn something they never fully received: approval, validation, recognition, a sense of worth. From the outside, people see confidence, but inside, there may still be a voice asking, am I enough yet? Have I done enough yet? Will people value me now? The problem is that achievement can bring temporary validation, but it cannot heal an old emotional wound because every achievement eventually fades, and then the person starts chasing the next one, not realizing that what they truly need is not another achievement. What they need is healing. The loneliness nobody talks about. One of the biggest surprises for many successful people is this: success does not automatically remove loneliness. I repeat, success does not automatically remove loneliness. In fact, for some people, success makes loneliness even more visible because once the goal is achieved, there are fewer distractions, less chasing, less running, and suddenly they are left alone with their thoughts. Many professionals have hundreds of contracts. Many professionals have hundreds of contacts, thousands of followers, dozens of business relationships, but very few people they can truly be themselves with. Very few people who know what they are carrying emotionally. Very few people who see the person behind the success. Some people have built successful careers while quietly carrying grief. Others are carrying stress, relationships struggles, family difficulties, childhood wounds, or emotional exhaustion. The world celebrates their success, but nobody notices their pain, and that can feel incredibly lonely. As Robin Williams once said, the worst thing in life is not to end up alone. The worst thing in life is ending up with people who make you feel alone. Success may attract attention, but attention is not the same as connection. Why nothing ever feels like enough? Have you ever achieved something important and then immediately started thinking about the next thing? Many high achievers live with a feeling that they can never fully relax, never fully enjoy the moment, never fully appreciate how far they have come. There is always another goal, another project, another responsibility, another challenge. The mind becomes trapped in a cycle of what's next? What else should I do? How can I improve? Now, growth is not a bad thing. Ambition is not a bad thing. Goals are not a bad thing. But when your entire sense of value depends on constantly achieving, rest begins to feel uncomfortable. Doing nothing feels uncomfortable. Simply being yourself feels uncomfortable. Many high achievers know how to perform, but they do not know how to simply be. And that is why, even after reaching goals they once dreamed about, they still feel something is missing because fulfillment does not come from constantly becoming more. Sometimes fulfillment begins when we learn to appreciate who we already are. As Lao Tzu wisely said, he who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. And for many high achievers, that may be one of the hardest lessons they ever learn. When success turns into exhaustion, there comes a people in many high achievers' lives when they begin to feel tired, not physically tired, emotionally tired, mentally tired, spiritually tired. For years, they have been carrying responsibilities, meeting expectations, solving problems, looking after other people, keeping everything together. And eventually, they start asking themselves, why am I so exhausted? I have achieved so much. Why don't I feel happier? Why does everything feel heavy? The answer is often simple because achievement cannot replace rest. Success cannot replace peace, and productivity cannot replace emotional well being. Many people spend years investing in their careers while neglecting their emotional health. Then one day, their mind and body begin asking for attention. Burnout is not always caused by working too much. Sometimes burnout happens because you have been carrying too much for too long without support, without rest, without emotional recovery. As Ariana Huffington said, we think success is money and power, but true success includes well being, wisdom, and purpose. And perhaps that is what many people are missing. not more achievement, but more balance. What are you really looking for? Let me ask you something. What are you really chasing? If you reach every goal on your list tomorrow, what would you hope to feel? Peace, happiness, connection, love, fulfillment? Because most people are not actually chasing money, they are chasing a feeling. They believe that achievement will finally make them feel secure, feel valued, feel respected, feel important, feel enough. But emotional needs cannot be permanently satisfied by external success. This is why some people reach the top of their profession and still feel lonely, still feel anxious, still feel empty. The real question is not what have I achieved? The real question is how do I feel when I am alone with myself? Because no amount of success can replace a healthy relationship with yourself. Fulfillment is different from success. Success and fulfillment are not the same thing. Success is often measured by the outside world: job titles, income, awards, achievements, recognition. Fulfillment is something much quieter, much deeper. Fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your values, having meaningful relationships, taking care of your emotional health, doing work that feels purposeful, being able to rest without guilt, being able to enjoy your life while you are living it. Many people spend years building a successful career, but very little time building a fulfilling life. The goal is not to stop achieving, the goal is to stop believing that achievement alone will make you whole. As Frankl wrote, success, like happiness, cannot be pursued, it must ensue. In other words, fulfillment often appears when we stop chasing it and start living according to what truly matters. The question every high achiever must ask. Before we finish today, I want to leave you with a question. If nobody was watching, if nobody was judging, and if nobody was comparing, how would you choose to live your life? How would you choose to live your life? Would you slow down? Would you spend more time with loved ones? Would you take better care of yourself? Would you finally give yourself permission to rest? Would you stop trying too hard? Would you stop trying so hard to prove your worth? Because perhaps the greatest achievement is not becoming more successful. Perhaps the greatest achievement is becoming more yourself. The version of you that exists underneath the pressure, underneath the expectations, underneath the endless striving. You do not need to earn your worth. You do not need another achievement to prove that you matter, because you matter already. And perhaps the next chapter of your life is not about doing more. Perhaps it is about living more. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take gentle care of yourself and remember, success may impress people, but fulfillment is what nourishes the soul. If today's discussion resonated with you and you would like to explore emotional loneliness, self worth, hidden pain, burnout, healing, and the journey towards a more meaningful life, my book Strong Outside, Empty Inside may help. The book explores many of the struggles that the high achievers quietly carry while appearing successful on the outside. The link to the book can be found in the video's description and in the pinned comment below. Thank you for listening.